What's up, folks? We back. I got this video is a straight PSA. I'll tell you about experience I had this week. But you know, before we get into this, you know what I like to do? Raise some energy up. Get funky with it. All right. You know what it is? Feel the energy. Energy knows no time and space. So get it while it's there to be got. So before we get in today's video, let me tell you a little something about myself. This year I'll be closing in on 59 years old. And you know, at closing in on 59, I feel very vital, I feel very youthful, and I feel like I'm in fairly decent health. Now, for the last couple of years, when I look in the mirror at myself, I say to myself, you don't look too bad for your age. And this little voice inside my head said, yeah, but you're rotten on the inside, huh? So I'm thinking, because my philosophy is, if you eat unnatural food, you inhale toxic air, you drink tainted water, you live a totally unspiritual, unnatural type lifestyle, well then, since you live an unnatural lifestyle, your body produces unnatural cells. Those unnatural cells are called mutated cells, which we refer to as cancer cells. So everybody, at least here, I can speak in the West, has cancer cells in their body. This is why I have a preventative approach to this crap. So, let me tell you what happened to me this week. I went to bed Tuesday night, and I woke up 4 or 5 times to urinate and could not urinate. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Now, understand this. 20 years ago, as a preventative measure, I had been wearing magnets under my shorts, my drawers, my underwear when I go to bed to feed my prostate. This is my preventative approach to making sure when I get to this age where I'm at now, I don't have no prostate issues, right? So feed your body what it is, energy, and it will heal itself. So when I got up to use the bathroom to urinate and I couldn't go, and for those of you who know who have back, when your urine backs up, it's a very, very uncomfortable feeling. So what I had to do was put one hand on my belly, put energy on my belly, take my other hand, and what we refer to as the tank, in between your legs, and express the urine out of my urinary tract. And as I'm putting my hand right here to put energy on my bladder, it's building pressure. So as I squeeze, do acupressure on my tank, urine was slowly dripping out till I feel a little bit comfortable. Then I went back to bed, woke up another hour, same thing. So that went on about 5 times Tuesday night. So when I woke up Tuesday morning, I said, I'm not going to work. I'm working from home today because I need to address this. I need to figure out what's going on. So I worked from home Wednesday. And Wednesday evening, after I finished my work, I got on my workstation. My workstation are crystals. And when I'm going to show you in a minute my workstation. And I sat my workstation on these crystals for about 3 hours. I spent, because now I'm perplexed, because I'm thinking my issue is with my prostate. And after 20 years of trying to prevent my prostate from doing what I think it's doing, I'm perplexed. So when I got down on my workstation, I was down there for 3 hours. I spent the first hour working on my prostate. When I say working on my prostate, meaning doing deep breathing exercises, using the crystals because the crystals amplify energy, and was setting my prostate on fire. When I say on fire, where I can feel it, I can see it, physically feel it, and then make it vibrate. So after the first hour, I realized, wait a minute, my prostate ain't the issue. Now remember, I told y'all I don't deal with doctors, so I got to figure this out myself. So my next step was when I realized after the first hour of working on myself that it was not my prostate, I started doing what I would refer to as expressing my bladder. And as I started, and when I say express my bladder, meaning I'm using my 2 fingers like this, was called acupressure. Acupressure. That's one of your healing techniques, how to learn how to use force and energy, also referred to as dim mop, shoot energy through my fingers to where I want it directed, right? Right, okay. So, started acupressure, all right? And 2 minutes after I started the acupressure, damn, I got to use the bathroom. I got up and went urinated. Lay back down, started again. 2 minutes later, I got to get up and urinate. That went on for 40 minutes. All right? So almost that next second hour, I was expressing my bladder. And as I was doing that, building up the pressure in my bladder, sending me to the bathroom. So, after that second hour of working on my bladder, I realized that, wait a minute, pimp, this is in your urinary tract. Buddy, you got a urinary tract infection, huh? And that thing closed up to where the pressure from the fluid in the bladder would make it close, the urinary tract closed at the top, and it couldn't get down to the rest of the urinary tract. So I was realizing that Thursday night, that Tuesday night, when I was getting up to use the bathroom and I was expressing my taint, all right, your sphincter muscle, as long as I could, once again, using acupressure on my sphincter muscle, urine was coming out. So I figured the blockage was at the top of the urinary tract. So I spent the third hour working on my urinary tract because I realized I had a urinary tract infection. All right? So after those 3 hours was up and I was able to relieve myself, relieve the pressure in my bladder and my urinary tract, I went upstairs and I told my wife, I said, damn, you know what? My bladder has been full of urine for God knows how long. I have has not felt this empty in at least a decade. Listen, people, a decade. And based upon what was going on in the last 5 years, my urination pattern, I began to look back and realize, when I'm saying my urination pattern, meaning especially over the last couple of years dealing with weak stream, meaning when you urinate, all your urine is not coming out. And about 3 years ago, I was watching Dr. Oz, and that's what they were talking about on Dr. Oz. And generally, I don't never watch Dr. Oz, so for me to see this Dr. Oz show, I was meant to see this. So Dr. Oz was talking about not getting rid of all the urine in your bladder. And what Dr. Oz was saying was that there is a bacteria that builds up in the bottom of the bladder. And when that bacteria is in the bottom of that bladder, it's cock blocking and you can't get all your urine out. So what he did was he had somebody on the show go urinate, laid them on the table and did an ultrasound, and their bladder was still 20% full. Right? So that's what I had been experiencing. So Dr. Oz said, take some crushed flax seeds, and that counteracts the bacteria in your bladder. So over the last couple of years, I've been taking the crushed flax seed, and I could tell a difference, but it wasn't getting rid of the whole problem. It was getting rid of some of the symptoms. So what I realized is that this urine been sitting in my bladder for about a decade. About 5 years ago, I started having a urinary tract infection. But the reason that the urinary tract infection could not take hold and get me to the point where I was Tuesday was because all the detox I take, the nutrients, all the stuff that I take to help build my immune system, all the things I do with the crystals and the magnets to boost my energy, the urinary tract infection could not get to the level where it had me Tuesday. So let me say this. In this last month, I'm paying for a wedding now for my daughter. And so I have not re-upped on some of the nutrients and minerals that I take. So in the last month, I haven't been on my regimen like I need to be. And when I stop taking daily all the stuff to boost my immune system, to detox, bam! That urinary tract infection took off. And it got me, right? So now, what I realize now is all the detox I've been doing, the deep breathing exercises, the minerals, the nutrients, it was not near as effective as it should have been, because this urine sitting in my bladder was like a lead weight. Let me put it to you another way. We know that, and I teach people that in your colon, because of our eating pattern, we have what's called backlog. All right, go research your colon. They'll tell you everybody's colon has at least 5 to 25 pounds of excess waste that you have not get rid of. So if you got all that stuff backlogged in your colon, well then A, you're going to be hungry more because the walls of the colon are not getting the nutrients. And B, it's just like your septic system it's like your plumbing system in your house. If your plumbing system gets backed up, it makes the whole house stink. That's how your colon works. So until what happened to me Tuesday, I had not realized the same thing goes with your bladder. So all the work that I have been doing with the nutrients and all that stuff, if I'm supposed to get this much out of it, I was only getting this much out of it because all of that urine in my bladder is like a lead weight, holding my frequency, holding my vibration down. So anything I put in there, yeah, it's working, but it's not reaching the height that it needs to be, right? So after I figured it out, and I was breaking it down to my wife says to me, oh, so that's what happened. 2 weeks earlier, we had sex, and after we had sex, she got a yeast infection just like that. See, I put that toxic ass semen up in her, and she got a yeast infection. So I come to the conclusion then that I believe, I'm not a doctor, but since women's bodies are more sensitive than men's, when women get a urinary tract infection, they notice it instantly. In men, it takes longer. So I'm saying, brothers, because as we get older, our muscles get weaker. A lot of brothers, people, period, have backlog of urine in their bladder. So, this situation I dealt with this week taught me how to express my bladder and get all of that urine out. Right? So now let me say this. After I expressed my bladder, so now Wednesday, I went through hell Tuesday night. I expressed myself. I got a chance Wednesday evening to work on myself. And I got up to Wednesday morning, took all my, once I realized that I had some type of infection, I went heavy on my detox stuff, my nutrients, like 5, 6, 7 things. My zeolite, my diatomaceous earth, my salt palmetto for my prostate, my calcium, magnesium, zinc, right? So after Wednesday evening, and I can feel, now once I remove all of that urine out of my bladder, when I start Wednesday evening doing my Qi Kong and my Tai Chi, oh Lord, I was unaware of the fact that even though I spent 20, 25 years doing energy work, I could feel the energy down here, I could feel the energy up there, but I can see up here, but I did not realize I could not see down here. It was murky. When I say see, I'm talking about my mind's eye. So after I got all that urine out of my bladder, oh Lord, this area lit up. It was lit. I'm like, damn. Woo! I hadn't felt this, doing my Tai Chi and my Qi Kong. Let me also say this. I'm dealing with, I was born with a spinal system that was out of alignment. I've been dealing with my whole life. So the last 20 years, as a child, growing up, I was always told, stand up straight. I'm standing up straight. No, you're not. In my 20s, I went to a chiropractor. He put out 2 scales, 1 foot on each scale, and it was a 9-pound differential between the 2 scales. So I got more weight on 1 foot than the other. I'm crooked. But I could not feel it until I changed my lifestyle, started doing the deep breathing exercises. Remember I told you, a human being is like a a bicycle tire. It has two components. The tire, the outer, your physical body, and then the inner tube, your body of light. And if the inner tube on a bicycle tire is flat, what good is the tire? That's the present state of human beings on the planet now. We bicycle tires with flat ass inner tubes. Once you start learning how to do the deep breathing exercises, you pump up the inner tube. Once I learned to start pumping up my inner tube, I can feel myself all, oh, now I can feel it. By the time I'm 30 years old now, right? So, ever since then, I've been using the crystals and the magnets trying to realign my musculoskeletal system. Deep breathing exercises helps and stuff like that. So, I'm saying that to say, I've been working hard, like one side of my body, the energy is not balanced because of my misalignment. So in essence, all the joints on one side of my body, here, all the way down, are out of alignment. So I do the Tai Chi and Qi Kong to realign my musculoskeletal system, right? I've been working hard at it. But because I had this lead weight down here, I wasn't achieving the in essence my progress in realigning my musculoskeletal system was very slow. That night, after I got that urine out of my bladder, and started, I'm like, oh, and start squeezing on my internal muscles. Woo! Oh Lord! I could feel it pop, 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 pop. Right? Almost instantly popping back in place. All right. So it's real key we understand then the importance of keeping your colon cleaned out and also keeping your bladder. I think a lot of people are dealing with this excess urine in our bladder that we're not getting rid of. All right? So I'm going to show you a few things. And next, I'm going to show you my workstation so you can see what I did. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips to show you how to address this on your own. Learn how to express all of the urine out of your bladder. All right? Now, this is something I just learned this week. Spirit was, as I'm working on myself, the Spirit was do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, right? So, because I have access to the tree of wisdom and knowledge, I don't need nobody to tell me what to do. Right? Once you tap into your pineal gland and you activate the tree of wisdom and knowledge, you start figuring out everything for yourself. All right? All right, now, people, this is my workstation right here. All right? So, what do I have here? These are clear quartz crystals. All right? And what I have set up, these crystals on the outside are referred to as an overlay pattern. All right? And you lie in an overlay pattern, and then you use crystals on the inside where you need to work, which is called the interlay pattern. So what I was doing, I took this, remember, crystals amplify energy. All right? So after I charmed my crystals, first I started out like this. Then I got intense. When I took this big crystal, turned it on its side, and put it right up in my tank. Right? You know, this is how I was working, like this, right? So now, this is the first hour I was doing this. When you go to express your bladder, you need to understand that you need to do is lying down on your back, because lying down on your back, all the muscles related to your urinary tract and your bladder are relaxed, right? So it goes something like this. You're taking your two fingers, right? And now let me say this. To express your bladder, you don't need all this. All you need is this, right? You start in the middle, lightly. The middle, and then like what? At 12 o'clock, and then 1 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Now if you start doing that, first before you do this, you need to go use the bathroom. Get all the urine out your bladder. And when you start expressing yourself, if you start pressing on it, and you don't feel the urge to pee, well then you got all the urine out your bladder. But if you start expressing yourself and you have to keep getting up to urinate, because once you start pressing on it, you're going to feel, if you got urine in your bladder, you're going to feel the need to get up and urinate, right? So, do my deep breathing exercises. So after I finished expressing myself, I spent the next hour after that lightening up my urinary tract. So that was Wednesday night, Thursday night, right? So Wednesday night, when I went to bed and I got up and I had to use the bathroom. First of all, let me say this. Wednesday was the second day. And what I noticed during the day was that as long as my bladder was not full, I could urinate. But once my bladder got full, I could not urinate. That was the second day. So I have to go express my tank. And the urine was slowly coming out. Might took 10, 15 minutes to take, to urinate and get all the pressure out of my bladder. All the urine out of my bladder. And then, so Wednesday night when I went to bed, when I woke up to use the bathroom, my bladder was full, and once again, I was struggling to urinate. Right? So, when I got up Thursday, I went to work. Now let me say, Wednesday and Thursday, I minimized my fluid intake until I could get my urinary tract straight. I don't want to put too much pressure on it, right? So Thursday, after working on this, removing all the excess urine out of my bladder, Thursday, I done had too many problems urinating. And what I noticed is, as the day went on Thursday, the more pressure built up in my bladder and urinary tract. So by the time the evening, Thursday evening got here, I stopped, and usually I get up in the morning and I drink an 8-ounce cup of coffee, and then I drink water. Wednesday and Thursday I didn't do that. I didn't drink nothing. Once again, until I get my bladder straight. So what I began to realize was that because I could express my taint and urine would come out, then the top of the urinary tract was where the issue was. All right? So, let me say this. Even though I was able, and like now it's Saturday, and I don't have any problems urinating. But after I spent 2 days working on my urinary tract, unlike before, all the years before, doing this crystal work, focusing strictly my urinary tract, lit it up. When I say lit it up, meaning that now there is a warmthness, constant warmthness in my urinary tract. I can feel it's like a whole new level of sensation. This part of my body is much warmer since I got rid of all the excess urine. Now when I urinate, I can physically feel the warmthness flowing through my urinary tract. So all the excess urine in your bladder is robbing you of energy, is robbing you of health, and God knows what else it's doing. All right. So let's move on to the next thing. So now Wednesday evening, I began to add urinary tract supplements to my regimen. So my wife, she made me some ginger tea, and the ginger tea was very hot. I'm not talking about temperature wise. I'm talking about that shit was so hot. Remember, Tuesday and Wednesday, I didn't eat. Now I smoke God food 24/7. And you know when you do God food, you get the munchies. Right? I didn't get the munchies. My body didn't want no food. Right? That lets you know your body's trying to heal itself. So Wednesday evening, when I start drinking that real hot, spicy ginger tea, instantly, because once again, I haven't eaten for 2 days. That shit went right through me. I'm talking about, it set my stomach on fire, and it set my urinary tract. I could feel that stuff burning in my urinary tract, right? So, ginger tea, 100% cranberry juice, and Azo, A-Z-O. It's an over-the-counter, something that helps clean out your urinary tract. So, last night, Friday night, when I had to get up to use the bathroom, damn, that shit felt good. Yeah. Yeah. So, I experience things. We experience things in life to learn. I learned a lot this week. And I just want to give that to y'all to make y'all understand the importance of keeping your bladder from backlog of urine. And like I say, when I look at my urination pattern, I've had this bladder infection for about 5 years. But thank God I do what I do with my nutrients and the crystals and the magnets, right? But once I eased up on that, bam! It took flight, right? So, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to leave you with this. Once again, breathing. The most powerful breath that I was using when I was at my workstation, the balloon breath, right? The balloon breath is, for you novices out there, once again, put your hands, if you watch the energy exercise video, if you haven't, go look on my YouTube channel, check out the energy exercise video. And the balloon breath is, for the whole exercise of the balloon breath, when you inhale and you exhale, you're going to keep your mouth shut, tongue to the roof of your mouth. You're going to inhale, hold it, push your gut out hard. The harder you push your gut out, the longer you can hold it, the more pressure will be released when you exhale, right? So you use your mental, your mind, to direct the energy. So as I was laying down there, as I'm doing the balloon breath, I'm telling the energy where to go. So I am literally using the balloon breath to light up my prostate, light up my urinary tract. So now, after about an hour of balloon breath, whereas before, as I stand here with my third eye, I couldn't clearly see this down here. It was murky. I can see it clearly now. I've lit this shit up, literally. It's literally light up your light body. That's what your Bible is talking about. If thine eye be full of light, then thy body shall be full of light. You fill your body full of light with your breath. So, also let me say this about the balloon breath. I practice Qigong, and Qigong, once again, is a stationary energy building where you're building power using your Tandian, your Hara, doing your deep breath exercises, right? So, for years, I would do the balloon breath while I'm standing in my Wu Chi, and I would wake up on the floor and laughing because I'm like, damn, how long have I been down here? I don't even remember falling, right? When you master the balloon breath, you'll be able to shoot your consciousness up out of your body. When you master the balloon breath, you will be able to exist in between the spaces, It's like floating in no man's land. It's like, because you're going woo, right? The balloon breath is a very, very powerful breath for directing energy to parts of your body that need healing. Learn to do the balloon breath, and when you get the balloon breath, let me say it like this. This is what I learned with the balloon breath. When I first started doing balloon breath and holding my breath as long as I could hold it, over time what I started to see was, in my vision, it would start blacking out. It would start blacking out. And then, once I got to a certain level, when I would black out, that's when I would fall down, because my consciousness had not been able to, what am I trying to say? I had to learn to expand my consciousness to handle all the extra energy that my balloon breath was pushing out. So until I learned to expand my consciousness, I fell into darkness and would end up falling flat on my face. I've been in the mirror doing a balloon breath search and like, oh shit, let me grab onto something, you know. I'm finna fall, right? Oh, okay, I'm coming down now. I'm coming down. Don't let me fall, right? So, you start doing the breath, start doing the when I say pushing yourself beyond your normal level of consciousness with your balloon breath, start sitting down. Start sitting down. Because it will literally knock you off your feet. Alright. So, standing in my Wu Chi, I would see everything go black until I developed my consciousness enough to where the consciousness wouldn't go black. It would go woo, boo. And then like I entered a space bubble. And you're floating between the ethers. You in between the ethers. Right? The balloon breath is like taking your breath and putting it in a slingshot and going, woo, bow. When you exhale, bow. Right? Master your balloon breath. Right? Now, I'm going to leave you with this. People of the planet nowadays take healing their body. It's a passive approach. See, what does he mean? People, healing should be active and passive. Passive means you don't do shit. You go to the doctor. You let the doctor tell you everything. You don't know shit. Right? Active means I'm going to participate in my own healing. Your body is like a ship. Your mind is the captain. Right now, the way the human being is, everybody, meaning everybody's body, the captain is a goddamn passenger on the ship. As the captain of the ship, everything on board got to follow what you say and what you tell it to do. As the captain, all the organs and glands must do what you say. All your blood vessels, all your blood cells, all your chakras must do what you say. That's active. So, we need to get over this healing. When I say healing, I mean physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. You got to take an active approach. Stop being passive and let somebody else control where your ship goes. Right now, everybody is a goddamn passenger on their own ship. You have no control. That's what I'm talking about. See, you must first, in order to be physically resurrected, you must be first mentally resurrected. Alright? So I'm going to leave you that. You got to stop being a passenger on your own goddamn ship. You control this ship. Alright? So, I'm going to leave you with that. And like I say, don't believe shit you hear me say. Find out for yourself. Peace.